King Sigma. He was walking at the beat of his own drum. Even when he came back into working again, he was still moving how he needed to move on his own. But when he needed to call in a goddamn favor, he had that small circle that he can call in a favor with. Add a little bit of excitement, have a little bit of fun with it. But if you know the movies, then you know John is the quote-unquote King Sigma. He was walking at the beat of his own drum. Even when he came back into working again, he was still moving how he needed to move on his own. But when he needed to call in a goddamn favor, he had that small circle that he can call in a favor with. For those that know the movies. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I love the whole series. Go watch it. I think we all caught up in the comments. Let's go ahead and rock.
I say this, John. The sure as fuck broke the mold with you.
These are the words of Viggo Tarasov, notorious Russian crime boss of the John Wick universe, who serves as the main antagonist in both John Wick and the sequel, John Wick Chapter 2. These words alone encapsulate why John Wick is such a notoriously strong example of a Sigma male. Sigmas are famously the rarest of all male personality types, and to many who meet them, they leave an impact that isn't soon forgotten. John Wick is a world-class assassin with a reputation that far precedes him, both within the universe of the film and among fans of the franchise. Many people will have heard the character be described as a Sigma male, but what exactly are the traits that make John Wick the ultimate example of a Sigma?
You ready, John?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the character of John Wick, and why this deadly assassin is the ultimate Sigma male. Breaking the mold.
Pause it real quick. Joseph said John Wick, aka Baba Yaga. Love all the movies. Me too, bro.
Got it! It's hotter than fish grease!
Jason Williams said my nickname at the park is John Wick. I'm still the live shooter.
Got it! It's hotter than fish grease!
I love that, bro. But even taking the character out of it, I'm gonna let it run in a second. But taking the character out of it, Keanu Reeves in real life, the actor who plays John Wick, Keanu Reeves is known as a Sigma male. You never hear shit about him for real going on, right? I think somebody just tried to put a baby on him. Some woman, he went ahead and took the DNA test, proved the kid ain't his, moved on. That's some cold Sigma shit. I ain't got time. We're not gonna make this salacious. The only reason it hit the papers because people were looking for drama. He don't move like that. When have you ever heard Keanu Reeves wrapped up in some drama? As long as he's been in Hollywood. As many movies, he's one of the highest paid actors in the world and don't have a lot of controversy because of the way he moves in his real life, which made him perfect to play John Wick. But let's let it run. Breaking the mold. You're a little bit different, bro, and it's okay.
As crime boss Viggo Tarasov aptly said,
The sure as fuck broke the mold with you.
John Wick breaks the mold. He truly stands out from the men around him. Even in a world as packed full of strange and mysterious characters as the world of high-level crime, this quiet assassin possesses an air that sets him apart. And while most Sigmas are not, believe it or not, high-level assassins who can take out 3 men with nothing more than a pencil, most Sigmas will in fact fit the description of breaking the mold. Often, Sigmas are known for possessing an aura of mystery and have the ability to command respect from those around them, seemingly without trying. Unlike alpha males, Sigmas are not trying to stand out or set themselves apart as the top dog. The unique reputation they carry with them is a culmination of factors that have little to do at all with how the Sigma tries to be perceived by others, and is largely rooted in how a Sigma perceives and handles himself, independently of whoever he happens to be surrounded by. As Sigmas are so mysterious, sometimes it can be difficult for those on the outside to put their finger on exactly what creates this unique and authoritative aura, but John Wick exemplifies these traits to a T. The most important of these traits include the fact that, number 1, he thinks before he speaks. Sigmas are not men of impulse. They are by nature highly analytical thinkers who love to analyze things in great detail. Even in situations of immensely high stakes, John Wick never seems to speak out of turn. His words are carefully weighed and are generally sparse.
People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Even in moments of great emotional stress, we never see John Wick lose his cool. He gives both his enemies and his friends only a slither of what must be going on inside his head and never gives away too much information. Sigmas know that their words are worth more when they are few and far between, and John Wick is the perfect example of knowing how to keep his thoughts to himself. This trait makes his character very subtle yet effective in his communication, and when John Wick is speaking, you can be sure that the whole room is going to be listening. He serves as a perfect example of the fact that Sigmas always stop to think about what they're about to say before they go ahead and open their mouths, if they go to open their mouths at all.
How much?
Excuse me?
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Silence is golden in the eyes of a Sigma, and despite being a master fighter and marksman, one of John Wick's most powerful weapons is his ability to hold his tongue and give as little away as possible of what's going on inside his head. Number 2.
Pause it right there. He checks his emotions. Isn't that what's said in these red pill manosphere men-centric spaces? Check your emotions. You gotta think before you speak. You don't just go off half-cocked, full of emotion, and as fiery as you may be, as cold as you may be at your job. Again, I like to bring it to real life. The movie stuff is fun. But in real life, you can't just blurt out what the hell you really thinking in the middle of the meeting, right? A lot of alphas will tell you, yes, you can. You got to take leadership, take control, and all that shit. It sounds nice. Watch somebody do it, then watch them pack up their goddamn desk and get walked out the fucking front door before the end of the day. So again, as a Sigma, you don't have to blurt out everything that you're thinking, right? One, you're already processing. You're trying to figure out the best thing to do for yourself. Then, if you're in a leadership position, for the group. Just because he's a pack of one doesn't mean he wants to pack 2 stars. When he finds himself in those leadership positions, hey, so-and-so called out today, so-and-so's on vacation, we need you to handle X, Y, and Z. Okay, not my usual trope and trait, but I can step into those shoes and kill it and probably be better at the damn job than everybody else. Because guess what? You're not only already confident, you have that air of surprise, right? Because nobody expected you to do it. You're the quiet guy. You're the guy that doesn't get involved in these different things. You're antisocial, but you're able to execute a lot of times better than what is seen as the leader, the loudmouth, the, hey, all eyes on me type of guy. I'm going to keep letting it run. Again, because you're so quiet, number 2, you're hard to read. People try to start putting you in these categories, right? Especially with women. I'm going to bring it back to the women. Remember the videos I played earlier of their sister saying, I love these type of men because they're so aloof. Like, I have to try to figure him out because he already knows who he is. He's showing you who he is through his actions. You got to try to figure him out. That's not his job. He already figured that part out.
To read. Partially owing to his quiet and reserved nature, John Wick proves an incredibly difficult character to read. He carries himself with an attitude that is firmly stoic in nature. The Stoic philosophy, which originated back in ancient Greece, puts an emphasis on what is known as the locus of control. This refers to directing one's energy towards the elements of life that are within our control. This philosophy applies heavily to the Sigma male mindset, and throughout the film franchise, John Wick always possesses a strong sense of his locus of control.
Pause it right there. That control, again, YouTube is a great space for information. I'm going to start bringing some of this stoicism and stuff into this as well, because I also looked at that. People always thought I was boring when I was truly even killed. It was times I was pissed off, ready to risk it, throw it all away, and fuck some shit up. But I kept myself under control, right? Because I worried about what I could control. If it wasn't in my control, if I couldn't make this thing happen, then why would I spend my energy trying to do it? And that's, again, a John Wick trait. Hey, I know I can take this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude. I'm in control of this situation. Again, as the movies and the series went on, he did have to call on for help sometimes. And when he did, he made that shit happen. But again, people knew who the fuck he was because he knew who he was. So they knew if he was picking up the phone to call for help, it was something that needed to be done. Work in what you can control. The stuff you can't, let that shit go. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, it ain't got the shit to do with your level of success at all anyway. And keep on letting it run.
Both in his day-to-day life and his highly precise style of combat, John Wick proves stoic through and through. Because of this stoic nature, he can be incredibly difficult for those around him to pin down and read. He keeps his composure effortlessly and gives little to work with to those around him.
You got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaching out to pull you back in.
It's personal.
His blank and mysterious stare is a defining and often intimidating feature of his character. While he is usually polite and courteous, his aloof and stoic nature lets people know that he is not to be messed with. Number 3. Highly skilled. It would be impossible to discuss the character of John Wick without paying respect to his immense level of skill in everything he does. This is especially impressive when we take into consideration the sheer range of skills that we see John Wick demonstrate throughout the series. He is highly accomplished in many styles of hand-to-hand combat and is an excellent marksman with every firearm he takes up. He's highly talented in the art of escapology and infiltration, and possesses a vast range of tactical knowledge that he uses to get himself out of situations with even the most dire odds. This is a trademark Sigma quality through and through. Sigmas are highly focused when it comes to developing their chosen skill sets, and stop at nothing until they feel they have reached mastery of their skills. This is a testament to the Sigma male's sense of dedication and commitment to his chosen fields. Often, Sigmas end up on top of their game no matter what field they go into.
It's John Wick.
And as the most effective and legendary hitman in the world, John Wick is certainly no exception to this, albeit the unorthodox nature of his chosen profession. Number 4.
Pause it right there real quick. I want to bring this comment back up from Stuart. Stuart says John Wick represents the dark side. Excuse me. Represents the dark side of what a Sigma can be. Don't forget, this is where the movie went to. Don't forget, there was a John Wick after the original John Wick of retiring. He had a wife. He was trying to build a family. He had a quiet life as well, Stuart. So John Wick that we know, that we got in the movies, there was a guy before that who opted out of that. And we talked about it earlier as far as relationships. Those Sigmas that pick a woman, we know what we're picking because we know who the hell we are. She chose him because she knows who the hell he is, because he was so solid in what he did. When he opted to leave that life and it was time for him to go do his impossible task to get him out of that life, he executed it. Why? Because he was so highly skilled, like number 3 was. Whatever you're picking in life, brothers, most of y'all are probably good at that shit. It's a lot of y'all listening right now. You may be receiving this information for the first time. It may be that you're sitting with this information for a couple of days and that light bulb is going to click and you're like, oh shit, I fall into this hierarchy. I fall into at least some of these characteristics, whether or not you believe in the hierarchy or not. You possess a lot of these characteristics, and it's not an arrogant thing. I said it a couple of days ago. I was talking to a chick and she introduced something new to me. I can't even remember what it was. And I was like, well, damn, that's another thing I'm good at. I said it tongue in cheek as a joke, but she was like, you so damn arrogant. No, I just have a care when I put my hands on something. I want to be able to execute. I want to do a good job. I want to do it well. So when she showed me, it was something. I can't even remember what it was. It was a while ago. Like I said, a couple of days ago, last week or some shit. I done damn near forgot that shit. Moving on, focus on this. But brothers, a lot of y'all are skilled at what you're doing, whether it is on the job or I think that was Jason that said on the basketball court, he got a jump shot. His shit wet. He know it's going to fall. Jason is the guy that they say, no, don't leave him open. For the new guy that came on the court, they got to guard him and like, oh, you're fucked up. Everybody knows that what your skill set is because that's what you do. and who you are is the person that cares about what you do. They may identify you as a basketball player or an accountant or whatever you do for work, but who you are as a man is the person that's actually taking care of the task. You care enough about the task and who you are that represents, the work represents who you are. You care. You focus on yourself to build, but at the same time, you know this work is going out to the world, so you want to do it well. Let me go back over to the comments real quick. Mo says, I don't consider John Wick a loner. People risk life and livelihood to help him. Don't forget, we got John Wick after he had did so many tasks for those people. Mo, he did those tasks again and moved on. He had a life path that he wanted to work. So don't forget, Halle Berry character, Sophia, he got her daughter out of danger. She came to him for help. And again, you can be a loner. I say it all the time. I'm a loner, but I'm not lonely. I may be by myself, but guess what? I do have people that I can call. I have a small group of friends. I have a small pack, so to speak. But all intents and purposes, everything that I've gotten, all the work that I've done, even when I met those people, is because I put myself in that situation to be able to build with somebody and build that rapport because of who I am. And that's what I need men to understand, bro. And we like to give a lot of accolades and high fives and stuff like that. At the end of the day, when you got to sit down and you in your house all alone, no YouTube, no TV, and it's just quiet before you go to sleep, what did you do? And because of that, that's why John Wick would fall into the Sigma male category as a loner, Mo, because he walked that path alone. But at the same time, during that path he walked, you're going to meet other people. Who you are, you take you wherever you go, man. Who you are is going to determine how you build that rapport with certain people. Certain people don't get it. They want to put you into the antisocial category, and that's not it. The people that see who you are because you're walking in that confidence, that quiet confidence, you don't got to beat your chest for attention like a lot of alphas do. Because you walk in that confidence, they're going to fuck with you. So when push came to shove and he started calling in favors as the movies went on, that's why them people reciprocated the favors, including the Bowery King, Lawrence Fishburne's character. This is a man whose throat he slit and gave him two options. You can take your hand off the wound and die and try to shoot me, or you can leave it there and live. He still did him a favor. I did my job. I got your attention, but you get to decide whether you live or die. Years later, he was able to go to him for help because of who he is. Slide back over to the comments. Stewart says, to this day, I say I should have been a Marine sniper. Crazy story. When I went into the Army, I wanted to go to sniper school. They would not send me. Said I didn't have enough experience. As soon as I got out of basic training and got into my unit, I wanted to be special forces, what they call a sapper for the engineers. And then I wanted to roll over to sniper school. The guy that was in that position to write the paperwork and send me to school, he was getting ready to retire. Just didn't give a fuck about a little private coming out of basic training or specialist like I was when I came out of basic training. He didn't give a fuck about me. I was an E4. He was getting ready to retire. So my paperwork just, it wasn't even a real conversation with him. He gave me something. I gave it back to him. That was the last I heard of it. Now, 15 years later, I'm 5 years away from retirement and pretty much have aged out. So it's interesting that you say that, Stuart, because that was the path that I was going to walk on. And guess what? When I got my rifle in my hand, just as a basic soldier, I'm a marksman. I'm cold with my shit. I'm a sharpshooter. I can shoot. That's one thing I can do. Even when I was working on bank trucks and I was getting introduced to a handgun, I was cold from the gate. Don't know why. But again, I cared enough to learn that skill and learn how to properly do it. And I'm still cold with it. Stewart says I operate heavy equipment 30 years and hate it for my skill level. Let's see. Jason says the young boys. Hold on, let me try to blow this up just a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Damn, went off screen. Jason says the young boys won't even let me take warm-up shots before the game. Never mind the fact that some of them are half my age. Keep gunning. Keep shooting. Let's see. Jason also says, I don't get it. Why hate? I would be the guy asking you questions to up my skill level, not to compete against you, but to be proficient myself. That's big.
Got it! It's hotter than fish grease.
You always want to sharpen yourself. You're not going to be that alpha like, oh, I can figure this out on my own, or I can do it on my own. The Sigma, even though he walks his own path, he's not ashamed to ask for help. Because once I got it, now I got it. I appreciate you. Show some type of gratitude, and now I'm going to move on and keep working for myself. And Stewart says a lot of people just can't get past their ego. Let me blow that up. A lot of people just can't get past their ego.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Yeah, but again, brothers, get your skills right. That's why I keep talking about skilling and scaling up. Get your skills right. You're going to force yourself to build up to something else. Again, even as a Sigma, you're going to be the person that gets picked. Hey, we need you to lead. I know this isn't what you usually like to do. I know you don't like the crowd. I know you don't like really being in front of people. And it's not that you don't like it. You just don't give a damn really about it. Again, like my old sergeant told me, what does my check say? As long as you can get your bread, as long as you can walk your path when you leave that job, or even if you're self-employed and go live that life and travel the world, which is what I'm planning to do. When you can do that, when people call on you, hey, we need you. All right, cool, I got it. And then you're able to execute. Why? Because you cared enough to build your skills. Let's get back to the video.
No exception to this, albeit the unorthodox nature of his chosen profession. Number 4. Unconcerned with impressing others. Perhaps one of the most standout Sigma male traits, John Wick couldn't care less what anyone else thinks of him. Whereas most of society is preoccupied with their social relationships and how they are perceived by those around them, Sigmas walk their own path and have little regard for the impression this leaves on others. This is down to the fact that they choose to exist outside of the traditional hierarchy of sociosexual dominance, in which men, alphas and betas for example, derive their place in society through their relationships with others. While an alpha needs betas around him in order to lead, and betas need an alpha to follow, Sigmas simply walk their own path and choose to do as they see fit, damned be the consequences. John Wick is never seen to try and impress those around him. In fact, most of the time he is trying his best to escape being pinned down by others. Ironically, his total lack of desire for veneration or reputation is exactly what leaves others around him in awe, a common experience for many Sigma males. Number 5. A man of simple pleasures.
This one about me, I'm gonna pause it real quick. This one about me kills people. I am a very, very simple guy. Y'all see me wear the hoodie and a hat a lot of times. Even when I'm dressed up, I like a lot of solid colors. I think I wore like a plaid jacket one time. But for all intents and purposes, I like solid colors. I like the classics. I like things that pass through generations. I can throw on whatever and look good in it. As the ladies say, get you a man that can do both. I've been walking in that path for a long time. I'm able to do different things, do them well, and still make that shit my own, which makes a lot of people guess, hey, who is this guy? He's not really like those guys, but he's not really like us. But I can't figure you out. I've heard that from the women I've dated to the guys in my social circle where I'm playing sports or at work. Man, come out and kick it with us, bro. I'm not with all the crowd in the club and the strip clubs and throwing money I didn't work for and all that shit. That's not me. Man, I can't figure this nigga out, man. Something different about, bro. I've heard that all my life. And it started out as a young man as being something negative. By the time I got to my late 20s, my mid 30s roughly, and I found my positive fuck it once again, and I started doing this research, this is when I stumbled on the Sigma information. This is when I stumbled on 16 personality tests that I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I wanted to know who I was according to science, or as Forbes calls it, false science. Whichever one. I just wanted to see that I wasn't crazy. This is why I keep telling you guys that you matter. You're not crazy. You know what your lived experience is, but try to find a spot where you can sit down, look at who you are, not just solely only and based off that experience. Look at what that experience, how that experience changed your mindset and the way you move with certain people and the way you move in certain spaces. Do the research. Again, The links for everything I'm showing you guys, they're down in the description of the video. I would ask you to go and take the quiz. There's other male hierarchical quiz out there. Some are more silly than others, like the BuzzFeed, quizzes, or the Facebook quizzes. Sometimes you see what type of fruit you are or whatever the hell, all that silly shit. But there's some serious work that has been done in this, and I just implore you to go find that serious work, look here on YouTube, and actually share this content, because I would love to have the pushback and engagement with somebody. Not going to be tonight because the Lakers playing, but I would love to have that pushback and the back and forth so we can flesh this out. It's just an interesting conversation. I think it's been interesting for me. I hope it's been interesting for you guys. But let me get back to this video, and then we're going to get ready to wrap it up.
Unlike many of the characters who inhabit his world, who are driven by a desire for power, glory, or wealth, John Wick is a man of simple pleasures. When the series opened, John Wick has retired from the world of organized crime in order to live out a simple life of quiet pleasure. It's through external circumstances that he finds himself dragged back into a life of danger and extremity, despite—
Pause it right there, y'all just heard that, right? I'm going to rewind it just a little bit. It's through outside circumstances, outside his control. It kicks off with his wife dying. He couldn't do anything. She was sick. These guys breaking in his house, stealing his car, killing his puppy, which was the last gift that his dead wife gave to him. Things outside of his control. Okay, now I got to step into this role and be this guy again. That's a dangerous man, like old girl said in the videos earlier. A man that knows himself, can walk in his confidence, is a dangerous man. Remember in the first movie, when the guy found out his son had stole the car and found out whose car he had stole, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. He already knew what it was. It's a man of sheer will and focus. He don't know how to quit. I'm gonna keep letting it play.
Man of simple pleasures. When the series opened, John Wick has retired from the world of organized crime in order to live out a simple life of quiet pleasure. It's through external circumstances that he finds himself dragged back into a life of danger and extremity, despite making the decision to avoid this.
You like that, huh?
Largely owing to their lack of need for social validation, Sigma males are never the type to seek out grandiose and superficial symbols of success. They know themselves deeply and structure their lives around achieving goals that they know will bring them true happiness. John Wick is a perfect example of this. He's a man of simple pleasures who simply wanted to live out his life with the woman he loves and protect the dog that he associates with her. Failing this, he is content to get revenge on those who stood in his way of that. Number 6. Walks his own path. Feeling betrayed by someone close to you is one of the most shocking, upsetting, and aggravating experiences a person can go through. As a species, some of our most unpredictable and even violent reactions are those that occur on account of being betrayed by someone we trusted. There's no point of harboring pain and holding on to resentment. To do so only poisons our thoughts and feelings moving forward. A true Sigma male moves onward with life and leaves the pain of betrayal where it belongs, in the past. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button. It helps us to grow the channel and allows us to create more content just like this.
Shout out to the Bloke Box. Go over there and give them a follow as well. But make sure if you're a new viewer, hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, make sure you hit the like button here. Let it keep running.
And now back to the video. Number 7. Versatile and adaptable. Highly skilled in an almost dizzying array of skills, from a slew of martial arts to tactical driving and swordsmanship, one of John Wick's most notable traits is his versatility. He is capable of quickly adapting to ultra-sudden shifts in any given situation, and is always prepared for any eventuality.
And away we go.
It is a typical Sigma male trait to always be prepared for the unexpected, as Sigmas recognize the unpredictability of life and know that they can only rely on themselves to overcome whatever life throws their way. It's only owing to this lone wolf attitude that John Wick is able to get himself out of the seemingly impossible odds he constantly faces throughout the film series. And while most Sigmas will never find themselves up against a bloodthirsty legion of assassins from around the world, they share John Wick's truly impressive ability to champion versatility and to adapt to any situation they find themselves facing up against. Number 8. Never backs down.
There's the biggie. Don't know how to quit. I'm gonna keep letting it run, but I had to pause it real quick. Don't know how to quit. You took them L's and you still keep bouncing back. And people, I know I've heard it. Why don't you just give up? That ain't me. I ain't cut from that cloth. I'm not. I went through some things the last probably 2 or 3 years professionally. I wasn't taking that L from the job. They were gonna give me what I worked for. Not because I deserved it, because I earned it. I did the work. I'm gonna get it. Like I said earlier, you're not worried about the raise and all that. You did the work. So now it's coming. And guess what? It's on me. I did that. It's not a selfish I did that. It's a real I did that. I put in that damn work. I earned that raise. I earned that, new position. And when I'm saying I'm talking about you out there listening as well. Don't quit. You cannot know how to quit. Throw that idea out your head. I'm gonna keep letting it run.
Us to what is arguably the most Sigma male trait that defines John Wick. No matter the odds he faces, John Wick simply never backs down. He embodies the notion of being knocked down 7 times and getting up 8. It's only through his sheer strength of will and perseverance that he's able to defeat even the most seemingly invincible enemies. Sigmas are some of the most driven individuals on the planet who possess an incredible clarity about what they want and how to get it. They are never the type to sit around feeling sorry for themselves and wave the white flag when they come up against difficulty in life. Sigmas always pick themselves back up, no matter the challenge they face. And John Wick's ability to survive even the most devastating of odds is a testament to the fact that he is the ultimate Sigma male. So that's it for today. What Sigma male traits do you most associate with John Wick? And did you learn anything from him when you watched them?
What Sigma male traits do you associate with you? We went through a lot. I ran through 15 traits earlier. They're pretty similar. You heard the sister speak about the aloofness and the just sheer focus. You hear the movie perspective from a fictional character about John Wick's, inability to quit. But guess what? These are some things that you have going on in your real life. You've ran into adversity and people around you in your circle have said, why don't you quit? Why don't you just give up, man? That's too much. Man, you better than me. I couldn't do it. And yet you still standing. You still making it.